Hello, I'm Norman Tomlins and I'm from Voice Network. You can visit our domain name at www.voicenetwork.ca. In this video tutorial, we're going to teach you how to install CentOS and get your FreeSwitch system up and running. It's fairly simple. We're going to use the VMware to do the tutorial so that we don't have to actually use a real machine. But you could go ahead and download the ISO onto a real machine and install it exactly the same way. So we're going to cheat because I don't want to use the easy installer that they provide. So we're going to go ahead and select CentOS 5. Yes, 6 is out. FreeSwitch will work on 6, but we're going to do this on 5 for now. So next, we're going to call it FreeSwitch. Next. We don't need 20 gigs. We can get away with 10. Okay. So that creates the bare image so that we don't have the easy installer harassing us. We're going to go edit the virtual machine settings now. We're going to go to the CD-ROM drive. We're going to say use an ISO file. Back to my download section here. And pick my favorite operating system. There we go. Open. Okay. So now that we've done that, all we need to do is power on this virtual machine. And if the virtual machine powered on, we're going to type Linux text, so we can use a text-based installer. You'll get exactly the same thing if you were using put the ISO in a real machine, so there's not a lot of difference between the virtual machine and the real machine. I do not recommend running FreeSwitch on a virtual machine. You will have audio issues as it's highly dependent on it's highly dependent on timing. So we're going to skip the media check because we know it's good. Okay, welcome to CentOS. We're going to pick English. We're going to have a US keyboard. We're going to say go ahead and use everything on the drive. So just important note here, if you're running a real machine, this will format everything, destroy all your data on that machine. So make sure this is what you want to do, is dedicate the machine for FreeSwitch. So we're going to say yes, we do. We're going to say this looks good. Click OK. We sure we want to do this? Yes, we want to format the machine and remove all the data. Go ahead. We don't want to review the partition layout. We're just going to let it go ahead and do it. We can set up the network interface right now, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Yes. We're going to enable IP6 support as well, just for kicks. We're going to click OK. We're going to put a manual IP address in, so we're going to use 192.168.0.199. Our net mask of 255.255.255.0. We're behind NAT right now, so my FreeSwitch box is going to run from behind a router, and we're using a 192.168.0.199. Yours could be 1.199. It all depends on what router you're using. So we're going to click OK. And I'm going to say IP6. We're just going to say automatic because we're actually not going to use IP6, but I thought we'd enable it for a later date. We're going to specify our gateway. So in my case, that's my router. I'm going to use Google DNS for my DNS servers. We're going to click OK. Our host name, we're going to call this FreeSwitch.voicenetwork.ca. Click OK. We're actually in Toronto, so we're going to go down and select Toronto. Okay, and click OK. We're going to type our password, so we're going to say FreeSwitch. I suggest you use a stronger password than this. Some letters and numbers and all kinds of good stuff, so people can't get into your system. We're going to click OK. I can't type, so it's prompted me, so I'm going to say FreeSwitch again. FreeSwitch Yahoo! I can type. Now, this is where it's very important. If we want to do this on one CD, we can't screw up this. So we're going to say that, get rid of that. We're going to click Customize Software Selection. There's 4 items here we want to get rid of, so that we can get away with doing it with a single disk install without having to worry about inserting other disks. So this will only require one CD now to install your FreeSwitch system. So you click OK. It's going to say that it's going to create a log file for you. You're going to hit OK. It's going to format the file system. So it looks like CentOS is off thinking about something, and there it is. So it's going to take probably a couple minutes for this to install. This is just the base install of CentOS. We're actually going to use Yum to install the packages that we need. And I have actually a nice little script that goes off and grabs all the requirements for FreeSwitch. It downloads FreeSwitches and builds FreeSwitch for you, so you don't actually have to do a lot after this process, right after this little bit here. So we're going to let this install. This is just running on my my laptop. It's just a little i3 that I got VMware installed on, and it's running about 6 gigs of RAM, so it's going pretty quick. So while you're waiting, you're probably going to want to create yourself an account at Voice Network. You can go to www.voicenetwork.ca, and in the upper right hand corner there is a portal button. You want to click on the portal button and then look for the create new account link. This will create an account so that you can actually tie your FreeSwitch system to the PSTN network, make outgoing calls, and get yourself a phone number so that you can receive inbound calls. And you'll want to do this so you can follow along with our video series here. If you're looking for more information on FreeSwitch, FreeSwitch actually does have a wiki. You can go to wiki.freeswitch.org, and you can also join the IRC, which is FreeSwitch, obviously, and that's hosted, I believe, on irc.freenode. I use the Windows client here to actually connect to the IRC, Hydra IRC. It works well. And there you'll find approximately 200 to 300 people answering questions and chatting about FreeSwitch. This is an excellent resource for getting help, and so is the FreeSwitch Wiki. The other thing I want to mention is that on Wednesdays, FreeSwitch does have a community conference call at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find out about this on the wiki as well. So if you go to wiki.freeswitch.org, you can find everything you need about the conference calls and stuff like that. So there is a lot of community input on the FreeSwitch project. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and reboot our system. Let me just click on the window here and press enter. Now hopefully this won't try and boot into the CD-ROM again, and it didn't, so we're good. So CentOS is booting up, it's been installed correctly, everything is good. The reason we set a static IP address on the FreeSwitch box was so that when we have our soft phones, we'll know what IP address they register to, because what might happen is, your network power resets, your FreeSwitch gets a new IP address which isn't the same, and then all your phones are trying to register to a box that's not there anymore because it's got a new IP address. So I'd always suggest that you use a static IP address on your network for FreeSwitch whenever possible. A lot of the home routers now, you can actually have it do DHCP, and then you can go into your router and you can say make this a static IP address. So that works too if you can do that. Okay, so our FreeSwitch box is booted up here, so we're going to go root and then password was FreeSwitch. And if we need to see what the IP address is, we can do an IP config, and we can see here that our CentOS is 192.168.0.199. So let's go to, we're going to do wget, and we're going to say www.voicenetwork.ca/gitit. FreeSwitch uses Git as a repository to manage its source code, so I created a little script called gitit. So we actually don't have wget, so we're going to do yum install wget. And if I configured everything right, it should go off to the network and grab a copy of wget. So it looks like my either my internet's dead, or the network cards on the this VMware are not happy. So let's go just quickly take a look here and see if we can fix it. Settings, and we're going to say network adapter. So we're running that. This should actually have been bridged. I don't know why it does that, but we'll see if it's fixed itself here. www.voicenetwork.ca. Okay, so we changed it to bridge, and it's happy now. So we can do a yum get, yum install wget. We're going to say yes, go ahead and install it. We're going to accept the fact that we accept the key. Okay, so now we can do wget www.voicenetwork.ca/gitit. And this little script will actually go off and download FreeSwitch, download Git, and install it all for you. Okay, so now we've got our gitit script. We're going to run it. So gitit.sh. Now this is going to detect how many cores you've got and make sure all the packages are installed. It's going to go off and get gitit 1.7, and it's going to install it, and it should also download FreeSwitch at the same time for us. Okay, so as you can see, it's compiling gitit. And I'm going to pause the recording while this thing goes off and does its thing. I'll hop back on in a second when it starts to go grab FreeSwitch. Actually, this will take long. Okay, so now it's gone off, and it's starting to go grab FreeSwitch from Git. As you can see, it's downloading it here. And we're doing about, I guess, shouldn't take that long. So I'm going to put you back on pause so this thing can go off and do its thing. Okay, so FreeSwitch is doing its bootstrap, and in this part it actually is creating its .config file, which this script will run for you. You don't actually have to do anything. This is like a 5-minute hands-off process. It detects the number of CPUs you've got and compiles FreeSwitch for you based on the number of CPUs you've got. So it's just a waiting game. So once this is done, FreeSwitch will be up and running. Hi, I'm just popping back. As you can see, FreeSwitch is compiling here. Because I'm only running a single core VM instance, it's going to take a little bit longer. So the good thing is we can pause the video and you don't actually have to wait, but you will have to wait for your own FreeSwitch to compile. So Okay, so our FreeSwitch compile has just installed. The script also installs all your sound files for you, so you don't actually have to go and install those separately. So we're just going to fire up FreeSwitch quickly, but before we do that, we need to change the default passwords on the FreeSwitch extension. So we're going to go cd user local FreeSwitch, and we're going to go into the config directory, and then we're going to edit a file called vars.xml. And then you'll see there's a big warning here. It says warning, 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 warning. You should change this default password. That's what we're going to do right now. So the default password is set for 1234. I never recommend having numbers for a password. I like to do something like, why are you using FreeSwitch today? So that way you can kind of remember it. So why are you using FreeSwitch today is our password for our phones. And you can go back and look up. Oops. This will actually set the password for all the extensions that are defaulted in FreeSwitch and already created. But in the next video, we're going to go through and show you how to set up your soft phone to talk to FreeSwitch. We're going to talk about the dial plan a little bit, how to set up a VoIP provider, and we're going to use voice network in our example. That's why earlier in the video I recommended you go and create an account with voice network, and that's at portal.voicenetwork.ca. And you can also visit their main webpage at www.voicenetwork.ca. Anyways, this concludes our video. Just one last thing here. I ran into a bit of an IP conflict while doing this video, so I have changed our IP to 198 instead of 199 as shown earlier in the video. So just so you know, it may be a little different. You can go and change yours if you want to continue to follow along. If you want to know how to do that, I'll quickly show you. You go to etc system config / network scripts, and you edit a file called if cfg eth0, and right here it says IP addr, and then you just change that to 198, and then you save the file. And then you can just reboot your box if you want, or you can just restart the network services. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a lot. In the next video, we're going to start up FreeSwitch, and we're actually going to register a X-Lite soft phone and make our first phone call. Thank you.